Hey friends, Kevin here, and I'm back to being in the cold. Although it's not frigid cold, it will probably be high 30s where I am tonight. But anyway, I want to answer a question that comes up a lot, which is when doing van life, which one of these portable power stations, which brand of these portable battery generator things is the best? This has been debated endlessly. I'm going to give you my honest opinion right now. And my honest opinion is this: I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Between what I have owned, what I own now, and what I have dealt with my friends and other people that I've met on the road and people I've camped with, here's my opinion. I don't care which brand is better. What I am going to tell you is to stick with one of the 4 or 5 major brands, the stuff I'm listing here. Stuff like Jackery, stuff like Bluetti, Goal Zero. There's a big debate over these two competing battery technologies. You have a couple of companies using one technology, a couple of companies using the other technology. Kind of the newer technology versus the older technology, if you want to put it that way. And the selling point for some of these, with older technology, it was the same basically as what you had in your laptops and your cell phones. A lot of these different devices, electronic devices, is that basically the life of these things was going to be 500 recharges. And at 500 recharges, you should still have 70 or 80% of the capacity that you originally had. And that is due to the electronics inside regulating those cells and skipping over dead cells. That's why the quality of the brands and a brand with a track record matter so much. Now you have this other technology that's claiming, hey, we can do 3,500 charges instead of 500, so obviously our stuff is better. The fact is, most of the people telling you this, they haven't done this because they haven't been able to charge and uncharge, discharge these batteries thousands and thousands of times. And I take things like this with a little bit of a grain of salt. And I've been told flat out that I'm wrong for this, and that's fine. If these things actually do end up with that life capacity, that's great. I looked at this stuff on a wholesale level, what I could actually buy these individual cells for, and I can buy for the same or even less money this newer technology cell that's supposed to last so much longer. And everybody keeps throwing these numbers out there. Maybe they'll hold up over time, maybe they won't. From somebody that sit in meetings with manufacturers and dealt with this stuff in marketing and things for other products, not battery packs, other products for the last several decades of my life, that's why I take this stuff with a grain of salt. If these things lasted so much longer, then they should be more expensive. If these things lasted so much longer, then everybody should have switched to this technology by now, because this technology has been out for several years. And yet you have many, many manufacturers sticking to the older technology, even though the older technology on a wholesale level is the same or slightly more than the newer technology. So again, that makes me think that there's something not quite right there that people much smarter than me, engineers and such, would know about. Some reason they haven't just jumped on this bandwagon with this new stuff. I'm not telling you to buy one or the other. I'm telling you that in my mind, it doesn't matter. I'm looking more than technology. I'm looking at the track record of these particular brands. So whether I get 500 recharges or 1,000 recharges or get lucky with one of these and it actually gets a couple of thousand recharges, you're talking a lot of years. And the fact is, most people that get into this aren't going to be out there day after day, 365 days a year, running a battery pack 365 days a year. So for most people in the long run, I just don't think it's going to make a difference. And I am happy, and everybody I have run into is happy as long as they stick to one of these main brands. So what I'm going to warn you away from is dealing with goofball off brands. Because if you go to something like Amazon, for example, it seems like there's a new company every week or two another one of these Asian companies that are pushing these van life portable power station things, companies that you've never heard of. And again, I can tell you from background, companies come and go, and these boo blah 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 brand names come and go, because if they put out a product that's bad, quite honestly, what happens is they just close up shop and they reopen under another name 3 days later. And you can kiss whatever warranty and service and whatever you thought you were going to have off of this thing goodbye. So for me, it's just not worth. I'm not going to be their guinea pig to save $10 or $15. I want to stick with one of these name brands. So these are going to come down to personal preference, which one happens to be on sale, which one you like the look of best. I know Jackery has a good track record. Some people don't like the Jackeries because it has a little more of a rounded top, where one like a Bluetti or a Gold Zero has a completely flat top, and then they can set other things on their battery pack. Again, things like that are just personal preference. So if you've bought one of these brands and then you have one of these internet gurus, or you go to searching websites and you go to these, it doesn't matter whether it's something like Consumer Reports or Good Housekeeping or all this other stuff that are just churning out article after article, they may have had somebody take 10 of these new things out of the box and test them for a few minutes apiece. They don't know, and they don't track how this stuff is going to perform 6 months or a year or 2 years down the road. What I know from being on the road and camping with people and meeting people is I know these main brands have certainly held up for them and have held up for me. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about, and that's all you should care about. So if you've already bought one of these portable power stations, just smile when somebody tries to tell you, oh man, oh dang girl, you bought the wrong one. You should have bought this one instead. It just doesn't matter. You're going to be perfectly happy with what you have, as long as it works for you, as long as it does what you bought it to do and performs, and it lasts and holds up, which any of these name brands will, you're going to be happy. So that's my advice when dealing on this stuff. If you're wondering what to watch next, I suggest this or this, wherever this pops up. Everybody take care, and we will talk soon.